ఎవరన్నా నేను చేయమంటారా? ఓకే. ఎవరో చేశారు. రికార్డింగ్ స్టార్ట్ అయింది. యూ కెన్ స్టార్ట్.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to present about AP configurations in SAP. First of all, AP is nothing but accounts payable. The definition of accounts payable is nothing but vendor is a person who supplies goods and services to our company. So the same can be shown as companies as liability on company's balance sheet. For example, if you take one example, Apple iPhone. Apple iPhone completely manufactures the products in China. So Apple company for their vendor is China manufacturing company. Only the software is installed in US. The same finished product they used to sold to customers. So the meaning of accounts payable is nothing but a vendor who supplies raw material and goods and services. Here goods is nothing but raw material. It's not finished product. So the same can be shown as a liability on company's balance sheet. Yes. If you come to the next screen, so first step the it goes to we have to create vendor account groups. Why we are defining vendor account groups? Here in SAP we have three types of vendor account groups: domestic vendor group, international vendor group, and one-time vendor group. So if you are doing a business within India, so you can consider as domestic vendor. And if you are doing business outside of India, so you can consider as international vendor. And if you are doing business only one time with this vendor, so you can consider as one time vendor. So the T code is OBD3. Yes. If you look at this screen, vendor account groups. So the T code is OBD3. By using this T code, we can create three types of vendor account groups as shown in below. You give OBD3 T code in the command field and click on new entries. So it will ask you to allow one account group. So I consider as SUDV. You can give the text as domestic vendor group and my company code. If you click on next button in the same screen, it will allow you to enter international vendor group. And in the same way, if you click on next button, it will allow you to create one-time vendor group. So whenever you are creating one-time vendor group, you must check here the option for one-time account because you are doing the business with one-time vendor only once in a lifetime. And once if you come back and look at the screen, it it will show like this: domestic vendor group, international vendor group, and one-time vendor group. All these uh, vendor account groups can be defined under the T code OBD3. The next configuration is define number range for vendor. The T code is XKN1. Here you can click on new entries and give specific number range according to your requirement, or you can utilize the existing the available number range as shown below. In the below screenshot, I utilized already the existing number range 0 to 0304. If you look at the below screen, I'm going to use already existing number range. The T code is XKN1. Assign number range to vendor groups OBAS. So once if you enter this T code transaction code in command field, it will allow you the screen and click on position and enter your company code. So please assign 02 for domestic vendor group, 03 international vendor group, 04 one time vendor group as shown below here. So assign number range to vendor groups. The T code is OBAS. And we have to create a reconciliation account for vendors, FS00. So whenever you are creating a vendor, you must create a reconciliation account. Not only vendor, assets, customers, vendors, and contract accounts receivable. So I am going to create here domestic reconciliation account for three groups. So that's why first we have to look into the number range in OBD4 where it will fall, current liabilities and provisions. So go to FS00 and take the group under current liabilities. So create one by one when reconciliation, domestic reconciliation account as shown below here 100500. I consider this GL number as domestic reconciliation account and it will come under balance sheet because it's current liabilities for us. Come to the control data tab in the same T code. So please take consider as vendors, update vendors, reconciliation account type and line item display and 001. If you can come to create or bank or interest, it will ask you to enter field status group. Please use Z067 is nothing but reconciliation account. So in the same way, I have created international and one-time vendor reconciliation accounts as shown below. If you look at here, 100500 I have created as domestic reconciliation account, 100501 as intercompany international reconciliation account, and 100500 as one-time reconciliation account. So the D code is FS00. And one more thing, we have to create one more raw material account because we are purchasing raw material from vendor. So this raw material is considered under current assets, loans and advances group. So the same T code FS00, type and description, control data, create or bank interest. This is normal process, the way how we created numerous GL accounts. So after this configuration, creation of raw material account, please define tolerance group for vendors. The T code is OBA3. The same tolerance group can be used for customers also. So as soon as you enter OBA3, please click on enter and give your tolerance group name. I have considered my tolerance group name as VETG, tolerance group for vendors and customers. I'm going to reiterate the statement once again. The same tolerance group can be used for customers also. Please fill all the details as as per the screenshot, and the T code is OBA3. Define tolerance group. The next step is XK01. So once if you click on XK01, it will ask you to enter account group. That's why in the initial stage we have created account groups, vendor account groups by using the T code OB53. So I am in this screenshot, I am going to I have created domestic vendor. So that's why I have utilized my SUDV is nothing but my company code and domestic vendor. Once if you click here, it will ask you to enter all these details. So I have created my vendor as India Business Private Limited. And if you click on the next screen, it will ask you to enter reconciliation account. Here, you please click on magnifier and select your vendor reconciliation account. That is domestic vendor reconciliation account. And the short key is 012 and cash management group A4. A4 is nothing but major vendors. And if you click on the next screen, it will allow you to enter payment terms and tolerance group. My tolerance group I have already shown you BETG in the previous screen. If you fill all these details, click on save. So then vendor number will be generated here 100579. Why it is showing 10057? And because I have already using the number range which were already created in SAP. So that's why my number range is showing as 100579. And creation of vendor, the T code is XK01. If you want to make any changes for particular vendor, the T code is XK02. Enter your vendor number and select here left hand side, please check mark which one you wanted to modify. So in the screen you can modify all these requirements. Which one you want to modify the data, please select the check mark and hit enter, and you can alter the details. This is the T code is XK02, vendor changes. Vendor display, the T code is XK03. Here you can view only the vendor data. You cannot modify anything. So just its viewing purpose. Enter XK03, hit enter and give the vendor number. Just it will pop up in like this. You cannot alter anything. If you want to alter anything, if you want to modify any changes to any respective vendor, please use the T code is XK02. Whereas in XK03, as I'm showing here, only vendor display. So the next configuration is a vendor invoice posting, FB60. By using the screen, we can post an invoice. So I have considered as 100581. I have taken my vendor number. Please enter invoice date and enter 77,000 amount. I am considering the GL account as a raw material, which we are already created in FS00. So please fill all these details and hit enter and click on simulate. So I am going to purchase 77,000 worth of material from Kiran warehouse. Kiran is my vendor. If you look at the document type KR is nothing but vendor invoice. Once if you click on save, the document will be posted like this. Document 517 was posted. So if you want to post in vendor invoice posting, the T code is FB60. If you want to look into your vendor open items, the T code is FBL1N. Please enter FBL1N and enter your vendor number. It will show pop-up like this. If you want to look at when open line items, vendor open items, please use the T code is FBL1N. Yes, I have already created an invoice. So I am going to clear the payment because I am going to make the payment to vendor. Vendor payment clearing. The T code is F-53. By using this T code, we are going to clear the payment. So I have entered all the details. KZ, the document type KZ is nothing but vendor payment. While posting an invoice, it appears as KR. KR is nothing but vendor invoice. So in this screen, I am going to clear the payment. So KZ is nothing but vendor payment. So I have considered 52,000 and I have selected the vendor as India Business Private Limited. Once if you click on process open items, please select the particular invoice. I have considered here the payment of 52,000 for 504 document number. If you look at here, assigned not assigned is 0. So I am going to make the payment complete payment as standard payment, standard clearing. Once if you enter all these details, document simulate, so it will show you like this. Once if you click on save, the document number was posted 3511. So I made payment of vendor payment clearing done for this vendor India Business Private Limited, an amount of 52,000. My presentation end.
Nice presentation, Sunil.